Bam. We're live on YouTube. Wow, that's really high. Let's fix that. There. That's better. Still a big shadow on there. All right. Let's get live over here. Bam. Bam. We're live here. Let's get everything set up. Let me start sharing my screen. Okay. All right. We're getting started in a second. We're just making sure all the other accounts are live. Tonight's a good one. Getting some view. All right. We're a little late for Friday night, but as they say, it's better late than never. But better never late. All right. For those of you that are on either of the, whether you're in YouTube or you're on the TikTok, if you have any questions, what I do is this. I got about 12 minutes. I'll do like a presentation of sorts. And at any time, just pop a question in, and when I see it, I will address it. And there we go. So look, this is a good one. This is about objections, and you want objections straight up. If you're having a sales appointment, you want to make sure if everyone's agreeable, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's usually somebody who ain't buying from you. They're just using you as a price checker on the contractor they want to hire. So be cautious. Objections mean that people are paying attention. And objections are also, when you're first starting out, they're letting you know that there's things you're not really covering properly in your sales presentation. Because over time, the more you get versed, then you will literally get to a place where you know almost every objection and you bring them up ahead of time so that the customer doesn't have to. And then they don't become objections, but you're still dealing with them because objections are opportunities. All right. So good to see we got a few people in now. Let's get rolling. We'll be quick. It's packed with some good information. All right. So these are going to be the most common objections you come across, right? So let's talk about it, right? No matter how good your proposal is, there's always going to be some homeowner that has some sort of a pushback for some reason. It's not personal. They're just being human. This is what humans do. The difference between the amateurs, right, and the guys that are actually professionals, amateurs dread it. The pros, you're prepared for it. It's like being a Major League Baseball player. You know the curveball is coming. You know how to hit it. You're not sweating it. You're looking for it. And the same is true in remodeling. You want the price objection because you know how to handle it. All right. So today I'm going to go through the most common ones. You'll understand why they show up. That's real important. It's not luck. It's not random. And you'll learn how to reframe it. All right. That way you build trust instead of killing the deal. Here we go. So why do they happen? Well, homeowners don't object because they hate you, contrary to popular belief. They object because they're scared. They're afraid of making the wrong decision, looking stupid, being embarrassed, right? They don't want to overspend. They don't want to get taken advantage of because they don't know what they're doing. They're not an expert like you. That objection is a signal. They're not going to say, I don't trust you, usually. Some will, the ones that are direct and brave. But the objection is, I don't trust you. Does that make sense? All right. When handled right, objections are the gateway to yes. The client is literally saying, solve this thing that's bothering me, and then I can do business with you. Make me feel comfortable. All right. You've heard this one before. We're going to go through the big five. All right. Your price is too high. If you're not hearing this, you better raise your prices now. You want to hear this. This is a good thing. Your goal should be to hear it. So you want to do what's called a reframe. First, you thank them. Thank you. We appreciate you sharing that. You're not the only one who's told me that. In fact, here's what the others have found, right? You welcome it with a smile. You're relaxed. Oh, really? That's great. Yeah, we absolutely are high. 100%. You totally agree with them. Now, whether you believe it or not, that's irrelevant, but you're agreeing with them. Then you can ask something back after you thank them, after you've agreed with them, you've acknowledged it, you've let them know this is great that they're sharing it with you. You let them know that we've had other people feel the same exact way. And then you can say something along the lines of, so along these lines of me being too expensive, would you explain to me what that means to you? Help me understand. What do you mean by we're too expensive? Don't ever assume that you know. They might say, well, you're $500 more. And if it's a $50,000 job, like, come on, we're right. You're like right there. Now, if you're $5,000 more and it's a $5,000 job, you start to see what you have to work on. It's not your price necessarily. But anyway, you want clarity. Also, you can say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, thank you for sharing that with me, right? Are you concerned more about the upfront costs or about making sure that this investment is going to last the next several years that you plan to live here and enjoy this piece of property and the improvements that you make to it? Now, this is all based off of you understanding, because you've asked the question earlier, how long they plan to live in the house, right? Because if it's just a fix and flip, that question and response does not work. So there's context to this. You're playing chess, right? Each one of your moves is based off of a move you've made earlier or the homeowner's made. All right. Now, this is what I would consider the ARI method, right? This is how you shift. It's applied relational intelligence. It's how you start connecting to the homeowner. You go from here to here, and you use your words and your listening skills. And this is how you help bring peace of mind. Remember, a homeowner wants to sleep well at night knowing that they've made a good decision. So how about this one? This is a good one. We need to think about it. Yeah. Or we need to pray about it. You hear that one, depending on where you're at, what your market is, right? If you deal with a lot of religious people, they love to sleep on it and pray about it. So again, you thank them. This is awesome. Oh, I'm so glad you shared that. Yeah, I agree 100%. That is exactly what you want to do. So you've thanked them, you've acknowledged it, you've let them know, and we've had many other people say the exact same thing. Many of our most successful clients and most awesome projects. Of course, what you're about to undertake, this remodeling project, is a big decision. It would be wise for you to make sure you think about it. Along those lines, what specifically is it that you need more clarity on before you feel that you're able to move forward? You're just asking them what it is that they haven't felt like they know enough about. Don't assume. It could be the silliest thing. And then you pause, you zip it, and you let there be silence so that they can process your question and let them feel as though, oh, we have to answer this. You just sit back. You look very nice and relaxed. You're not stressed. This is part of the process. This is what pros do. You have to practice this. All right. You want to focus them to the real concern instead of allowing them to hide behind it. Trust me, they are going to admit that they know that going cheap is high risk. You just have to, you can't tell them that at this point. You have to let them tell you, and they will. All right, here's another good one. Number 3. You know, we got another bid. We got 3 other contractors. They're cheaper. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with me. You should absolutely have cheaper contractors. In fact, if none of your other bids or none of the other contractors that you talk to were cheaper than me, oh, man, I've screwed up. There's a mistake. You own it. You own the fact that you're more expensive. Of course. Right? Again, I totally understand. When you and your spouse are considering who you're going to hire for this remodeling project, did you absolutely want the cheapest, highest risk option? Or were you looking for the safest option? the one that you can be guaranteed is going to let you sleep easy and know that it will get finished, and you won't be asking me to come back in 6 months to look at the project again because the other guy bailed, or you'll be stalled for 3 years with litigation and a lawsuit. Because, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, our clients, and here's a list that you can call and contact. Oh, and here's a bunch that are on our website, and these are our Google reviews. They hire us because they didn't want to gamble with their most prized possession, their home, or their peace of mind, because they're busy people and they knew that they needed to get this remodel done in 6 weeks, not 6 months or 6 years. So something to think about. All right, now here's another one you get. We bring up design fees all the time. We bring up the design process. That is the first step. And I will get homeowners that don't understand, and they should not, right? If they all understood this, then I wouldn't have to sell it to them or present it. All right. So a homeowner will very nonchalantly, ignorantly, right? It's not their fault. They don't know, but they'll say to me, well, Mike, can't we just skip this design process and fee altogether and just get right into the construction? Mr. and Ms. Smith, I appreciate you sharing that with me. And that is a very good point. And yes, thank you. You know, this is good that you've brought this up. And I've had many other clients feel the exact same way when we first started talking, right? Here's where you come in. It's very smart for you as an educated consumer to make sure that you compare. Most of the contractors you're talking to are going to just give you a number without much clarity, right? That number in and of itself won't do you much good when you try to compare it, because each of them has their own thought process about some of the things you thought you meant or you're looking for. And without a proper plan in place, that's going to leave everyone guessing, and that'll be leaving you guessing as to what the final cost is going to be. With us, with going and doing the design plan first, it's like doing a proper plan for a vacation. You're going to know that your flight is going to get you to and from, and that you're going to have the hotel rooms booked that are necessary. You're going to have the meals lined out that you're going to enjoy, and you're going to be able to afford the entire trip, so you're not going to get stranded halfway through. That's what our design allows us to do. Give you the perfect vacation from start to finish. See, we leave you with much more than a plan. We provide the process. And then sit back and let that all sink. Let them take that in. All right, now we're into part 3. So the formula for handling any and all objections, same thing every time. You listen, you don't interrupt, you let them finish, you don't get defensive, you don't get angry, you don't get agitated. You welcome it, you appreciate it, you thank them. Then you do the reframe. You shift the focus from their fear over to your value that you're providing to them and how it's going to benefit them as the homeowner. How this is what the wise, smart consumer, the homeowner who's successful in purchasing remodeling services, this is what they all do. This is what the cool kids do. You reassure, you build trust, you remind them that you're helping, you're enabling them, you're their advocate so that they make the safe decision, not the risky one, not the gamble. You redirect, you guide them back to the next step. The next step is always the design agreement. It's moving forward with signing the agreement and getting started with the paid planning. It's where you always direct them back. Pros don't argue. We don't dispute. We agree. We question. We reframe. We redirect. So here's your thing for today, your homework assignment, as we call it. Take the last 5 objections that you came across on either one sales call or many of your last sales calls, and use AI, write them down and say, help me come out with an applied relational intelligence response based off of what Mike Menges at the Remodeling Academy talks about, and how I can make sure that I'm hearing, listening, asking clarification questions, then reframing, and again, listening. So, and do some role playing. All right. Look, the thing about objections is you want them fast, you want them often, and then you want to understand, because then eventually you're going to present your presentation in a way that you bring up things. So when I meet with homeowners, I was like, yeah, Mr. and Ms. Smith, I can understand. Can you imagine how many people just don't do proper design plans and they want to just jump right into bed with a contractor and start a remodel? Oh, it's a recipe for disaster. I'm saying that within the first few minutes after meeting them and talking about their house and their project. You see, I'm already letting them know without selling them. I'm just educating. I'm sharing information. When you start doing this, you'll lessen the objection on the back end. All right. So again, your AI tie, you'll put this into your favorite prompt machine. Write me a remodeling sales objection handling playbook. Include scripts for the last 5 objections. You can use mine if you don't have your own, right? Price, needs to think about it, cheaper competitor, skipping and not having to do this whole design thing. Let's just jump right into the remodel. Shopping bids. Each script should use the format to listen, reframe, reassure, redirect. Provide at least 2 variations, direct and empathetic, for each. You run that, you practice it, and you'll easily increase your sales and your appreciation with homeowners, and everyone will be much happier to deal with you. All right, that's everything I've got. Appreciate you guys being here. Unless we have any specific questions, I'm going to bounce tonight. We're not going to do a long one here. Okay. Yeah. Friday night this time of night, looks like a lot of people are just hopping in and out. So it's tough. Yeah, it's a little late. I had a lot going on today myself. And I need a stable internet connection when I try to do these lives. So look, guys, I mean, literally these objections, when you practice them and become good at them, it's amazing. It's actually fun. Like, I look forward to them. All right. Again, if you're new and you have any questions about sales objections, if you've ever had a sales objection to your remodeling project from the homeowner that has really frustrated you, you've struggled with it, I can help you address it. Just share what it is. Otherwise, you can catch this. So there's a whole replay. You can always go over to my YouTube channel at the Remodeling Academy, and you can find all of these, and you can then replay and watch any that you need. Most of this stuff is just, look, I'm just sharing what worked for me, and it's what I've helped other people do, and it's worked for them. Of course, you're going to use your personality style. I have my style. You'll use yours. But the techniques, the foundation, it's always the same. Okay? You'll just weave your personality into there. Okay, it seems like tonight that's about all we're going to get out of it. Stay on just a little bit longer. So remember, you want to start looking at objections as opportunities. And really, you want to say, I can remember early on, there was a gentleman, he was over by an airport where I'm at. And he wanted me to come out, and he was like, Mike, I really just need a price on some windows and rebuilding this wall. Something had happened. I think the grill had caught on fire. The siding was all damaged. So basically what it was, and he didn't share this with me, he was just double checking the insurance claim because he had another contractor. And I was like, so sir, when are you looking to have the project done? He's like, we're ready whenever you can be ready. And I was like, oh, great. Okay. So I said, most likely something like this we could do in a month. I said, we're going to have to order the window. There's a local manufacturer. We can get this window custom made. It's going to take 2 weeks as soon as you provide a deposit. And I said, this project will take us 5 days, weather dependent. And we asked a few more questions, went back and forth. He didn't have a single objection. He didn't have a single question for me other than like, when could you start and how much? And I was really surprised that there were just no other objections, right? When you don't have it, that's something that's letting you know most likely they're not hiring you. He was just using me to get another price so he could make sure that the contractor that he was hiring was in the price ballpark. That's all, right? And I went out and gave a free estimate like an idiot. So you can have that experience, or you can learn from mine and say, that's when I said no more. I was like, this is insane. Yeah, I'll come out, but there's a cost, and here's why. And it's really for your benefit more than mine, because you're the one getting all the reward. You're the one who's going to get a clear plan. I said, how crazy is it to try to plan a remodel without a design first? I was like, when is the last time you just said, we're just going to wing the vacation? We're going to fly. We'll book the hotel when we get there. I don't even know how much it's going to cost. I'm not worried about any of that. They told me everything's cheap down there. You see what I'm saying? No one would plan. No one does vacations like that. People, if they have to get airfare, they're booking a round trip. They know the date that they're flying, the time, the airline. They know the specifics, right? They know the location of destination of where they're going, so they know what kind of clothing to pack. They know how much clothing to pack based on how long they're going. They know how much to budget, because this is how much they're paying for it, right? They know all the little things. Your remodeling project should be the exact same way. That is what you're getting your plan, your design for. All right, guys. So we hit the 20-minute mark. That's all we're doing tonight. I don't see any questions. You guys are great. Thanks for being here, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace. All right, let's bounce out of this one. Huh. That over there. I want that over here. See ya, YouTube. What is it going to take to get more people on YouTube?